No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show starts now.
Good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba. For all those joining us live this evening on our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms, we say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show with Dave Minuk. With the returning Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel, here to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights' 5-2 victory over the Winnipeg Jets, a game in which the Jets, for the first time this year, did not score the first goal. They did not score the second goal. They did not score the third goal. They did not score the fourth goal. And after that, it seemed like it was all elementary from that point on. Gentlemen, good to see you both on this Thursday evening, our first late night game of the season, the first of many, a lot of them coming this month. But nice to see you boys, even though it is well past my bedtime.
Yeah, nice to see you boys as well. Thanks for filling in for me. Had a bit of a night out last night. No, I'm just kidding. I just went to bed early and wasn't feeling great, but I'm back tonight, so it's good to be here. I love the night games, late night games, I should say, because the kids are in bed, right, Drew? You know what that's like, so I can actually watch the entire game and not have to worry about. Even though Ruben came out of bed and had some popcorn. That's right. I was eating popcorn. He woke up and then started eating the popcorn. I was like, "What?
He
This
really
kid has
is
some
your
balls
son.
here."
He
really is. He
right
loves
there.
the fresh. But yeah, I mean, we're going to get into some of the goals here. Hopefully, not the empty netter or the Jack Eichel missed empty netter. I'm not sure how he missed that one, but I mean, you go down 4-0 to the Vegas Golden Knights or any team in the NHL. It's going to be really hard to scrounge up a point, right? So yeah, they made it a 2-goal game there, pulled their goalie, but I mean, this game was over after 20.
Yeah, there's the real deep analysis that you've come to expect here on the Illegal Curve post-game show, and then again Saturday morning on the Illegal Curve hockey show. It really is this, Dave M. When you're playing against NHL competition, giving up 4 straight goals is not a recipe for success. So all you at home, all you young kids who are just tuning into the game, learning the game, don't go down 4 goals. That would be our in-depth advice, having watched this team for many, many years now and watched hockey for many, many decades. Don't go down 4 goals. It's a bad way to end up with a victory in your ledger, Dave.
It's a recipe for disaster. And you knew that there was a lot of disinterest when the topic of conversation in the pre-post game show chat on here I was having with the people in the chat that were the intrepid folks who wanted to participate was about Halloween candy.
Well,
and the box of Halloween candy that I had purchased for no other reason but to eat myself and to give to Ez when he got over, although Ez was kind enough to bring some cherry Pepsi, some Dr. Pepper, some Skittles. He knew it was a late night. He wanted to give us a bit of a sugar high. So it was very kind of him. And, we needed a little bit of a sugar high for some parts of that game because you're like, well, as he said, once it got to a certain point, you're like, well, this one's over. And it's funny because I think Dan Robertson asked Craig Button as well as Kevin Sawyer, what would the coaches be saying in the room? And I tweeted out a picture of, Mickey from Rocky talking to Rocky Balboa and saying, "It's over, Rock." and that's what they're saying. They're like, this one's over. Let's focus on Toronto.
Yeah, don't get injured is what the message was, I think, after that first period. To your point, though, I just want to advise our audience that's joining us on this Thursday night. Lots and lots of people come into the chat here on our YouTube channel and spend the game together, chatting with one another. So it's almost like the post-game show conversation. So if you're watching the game at home, but at the same time you want to communicate with some of the friends that you've made here in the Illegal Curve chat room, come to the YouTube channel nice and early. Sometimes Dave M is here giving us his insight into candy, but I know that lots of our regulars are here, watching the game, chatting with one another as the game's going on. What, just for those who weren't here, Dave, what is your favorite candy with Halloween now 11 days away?
I don't really have one, but I'm gonna go with a handful of chocolate bars. You got Snickers, Mars, although I don't like that they put Mars in that separate little bag. That's very annoying. Kids with allergies notwithstanding. Twix,
Well,
and
screw those kids, right?
screw those kids, and Twix and M&M peanuts.
Really?
Can I throw in Butterfinger here? Like, is that allowed?
No, not in my list.
Not on
I've
my
always
list
liked
either.
Butterfinger.
My
Since I was a kid, Bart Simpson, Butterfinger.
My
A bit
list,
of a Butterfinger, buddy.
my list starts and end. Not it doesn't end because clearly the belly, the list is longer than just that. But my list starts with Coffee Crisp. I'm surprised I didn't.
Oh yeah, Coffee Crisp is right up there for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not a Coffee Crisp fan, but you
hate
don't drink coffee.
I don't drink
That's
coffee.
a good point. You don't drink coffee. Okay, so I guess your story checks out a little
Does
bit.
Coffee
there.
Crisp really even taste like coffee? Like, you don't really
Not
taste
overwhelmingly. No, I don't think so. Coffee Crisp is my go-to chocolate bar. So if anybody has any Coffee Crisp that they don't want, send them my way, and I will gladly give them a good home.
coffee. Oh, Henry peanut butter is also very good.
Deep in my gullet is what I was going to say. That's where the home's going to be. But yes, as we all know, and as evidenced by our body shape, most chocolates do get eaten no matter what the name brand may be. Let's get into the Betway game recap brought to you by our friends at Betway, one of the most trusted voices in sports betting, both in Canada and all around the world. Betway is the sports betting app that puts you, the customer, at the forefront. Dave M rocking the Betway gear. With a large selection of betting options in sports, as well as strong promotions and fair odds. What are you waiting for? Head on over to Betway and bet your way. Must be 19 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. There you go, Darwin. Your favorite is Coffee Crisp and Cookies and Cream. I agree with both of those things. Two very good chocolate bar choices. Before we get into the game and the goals primarily scored by the Vegas Golden Knights, one thing I do want to mention, of course, about the illegal curve contest. We know that we give away authentic Jets gear, Jets merchandise, Jets jerseys. We're going to do that on tonight's show as well. A lot of people saying, how do we enter? How do we enter? To enter, you see on the bottom there, I got a ticker going now on your screen. You should see. To enter the contest, just click the link in the show description. And then it's simple at that point in time. So we're going to give out the code word, the secret code word, coming up very shortly. So stay tuned for that. You enter that secret code word, you get bonus entries into the draw. And, to enter the contest, click the link that's in the show description. Down below the screen, you'll see a description. It talks about, where you can follow Illegal Curve, where you can follow Ezzy, where you can follow Dave, where you can follow myself on social media. It also says to enter the Illegal Curve giveaway contest. Well, click that link and then follow the instructions there. And that is going to be how you're going to get bonus entries. You're going to get one entry. You're going to get two entries. You might get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 entries. 10
to be precise, actually, Drew.
10 to be precise. I was running out of breath, Dave, so I couldn't go all the way to 10.
And
but,
Drew,
fulfill all those bonus, contest details to get those bonus entries. There you go. Here for the swag, not for the chocolate bar analysis. Here for the swag. Either way, that's how you enter the contest. Click the link in the show description. Got that banner running there. Hopefully that'll help people out. Sorry, Ezzy, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was trying to rudely interrupt you, Drew. You wouldn't even let me do that there. But, the IC contest, the jersey giveaway, Heritage Jersey giveaway contest is getting so big. As I'm walking into my kid's daycare today, yesterday's winner, Graham, comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Ezzy, I won the jersey last night." It was pretty funny. His kids go to the same daycare as my kids. So, that's telling you how big it is. Like, it's everywhere. It's in daycares, man.
It's in daycares. It's not just hand, foot, and mouth disease in daycares. It's the Illegal Curve jersey contest. And for the record, even though Ezzy happened to know last game's winner, it is a completely random draw. Dave presses a button, the machine goes, spits out a name. That's how we know who the winner is.
It was just a coincidence that my dad won the first jersey.
Let's get into the goals tonight's game.
Before we get into the goals, though, Drew, we should probably talk about the lineup, the configuration, because there's some misunderstanding about the status of some of the players. Dylan Sandberg is not a healthy scratch. I should make that very clear. Dylan Sandberg was out because of an injury. Brad Lauer, who spoke at 6:30 Central Time, said that there were a number of players who were game time decisions. Logan Stanley obviously came in for Dylan Sandberg. Kyle Capobianco, he was out on the ice as well, taking up warm-up. And we heard that obviously Josh Morrissey, he was dealing with something because, he was a bit nicked up in that game against Colorado. So you had those two guys. And of course, Nick Ehlers is still listed as day-to-day. He's not capable of going. So just so that's cleared up, because I know some people are like, well, how is Dylan Sandberg out of the lineup after one game? So just to make it clear, it wasn't that he was pulled out. It's that he was obviously dealing with something that he wasn't able to go. And therefore that's the reason why you had Logan Stanley and Kyle Capobianco in taking up warm-up.
Yes, good clarification there, Dave, because I know people. I did see that as well, and so it's important to make that clarification and make it clear that it was an injury-related issue. It was not a coach's decision. He was not a healthy scratch. The Jets started off well, like we've seen for most of the games this year. The first, when I say well, I mean the first few minutes of the game, it featured a crossbar that was hit by the Winnipeg Jets, and they had some good pressure on the Golden
PLD.
Knights.
It was PLD who hit the crossbar.
There you go, PLD who hit the crossbar. They had some good pressure in the Golden Knights zone. They had some good opportunities on Adin Hill to open the scoring for the fourth consecutive game. It didn't come to fruition. And then in a situation where you have Dylan DeMello pinching deep in the offensive zone, the forward who had responsibility for that would have been Pierre-Luc Dubois, doesn't end up covering for Dylan DeMello on the pinch, and the Golden Knights break out with a 3-on-1 with Logan Stanley being the only Jets defenseman back. It ultimately ends up with Jack Eichel getting his second of the season. This is at the 4:23 mark of the first period. Riley Smith and Alex Pietrangelo, the assists, and it's 1-0 Vegas. First time in this season the Jets haven't opened the goal scoring.
Yeah, I agree with you, Drew. The first, let's call it 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah,
the Jets had every single one of their four lines out there. We talked about the PLD crossbar that could have easily gone in. It was a really good shot. I'm sure you guys talked a lot about, getting offense from the defense and how, since training camp, the Jets have been preaching that they want more goals, more offense from the defense. And you got to love, not only Neil Pionk's OT winner, but, he scores again tonight and had a good game, considering that there wasn't a lot of gas left in the tank. I mean, DeMello is not a guy, that you expect a lot of offense from. And this isn't on, just on Dylan DeMello. Like, to me, you mentioned Pierre-Luc Dubois doesn't get back to cover up. Somebody had to get back to cover up, right? Like, it was just too slow. Logan Stanley, nothing really he can do there. Like a 3-on-1, like he might not have played it. It might not have been, textbook way to play a 3-on-1. But to me, a forward, usually the center, has got to cover there if you know that Dylan DeMello in this case is pinching in and putting the shot on net, right? Like it's a 3-on-1. It's an easy goal there for Jack Eichel, but that just to me was, the forwards that were out there, because if I'm not mistaken, it was Dubois, Perfetti, and Wheeler. I'm not sure if all three of those guys were on the ice, but that's the line.
They all were.
You got to have situational awareness there, and there just wasn't. It was an easy 3-on-1 for Vegas, and Eichel finished it off.
And the only thing I want to just jump in here, I would think the situational awareness should have been on Dylan DeMello not to do what he did. I think it was an ill-advised decision by him. With three forwards were deep and they had their backs to him. So I don't think his forwards were in a position to recognize that he was going to do what he did. And he also didn't put the shot in a good spot. So the shot doesn't go on net. It actually goes to the front of the net, hits a bunch of bodies, kicks out back towards the Jets, and you've got three forwards deep. And you've got Dylan DeMello deep. So you've now got four guys back. And I agree at that point, one of the forwards needs to get on his horses and get back. But I think it was an ill-advised play by Dylan DeMello. And I don't say that very often, but I don't think he made the right decision in terms of chasing offense there. I really don't. I think that, again, his shot wasn't a good one because it wasn't on the net or clear to the front of the net. Again, like I said, it was awry. And so as a result, it kicks back up. And yeah, I don't like the way Logan Stanley played the 3-on-1. I thought he played it poorly, but that doesn't really matter because I think he was put in a position to fail by by his D partner and by the forwards, kind of already being stuck too deep. And I just didn't like the way Dylan DeMello made that decision. I would have played a little more conservatively because, you did play a game last night and you do worry about having your legs right away to go, given the fact that, even though it was 32 seconds into overtime, you still had to wait for the scrape and all that stuff. So it's a little more wear and tear, a little more waiting. I just think that it was just a bad decision by Dylan DeMello. And again, we don't say that very often, but I didn't like it personally. I thought it was a little too high risk.
Well, you also don't see.
I just want to say, especially given the fact that his D partner is Logan Stanley, and he's got to be a little more cognizant of the fact that he's not partnered with Josh Morrissey or one of the more veteran guys. He's partnered with Stanley. So, I mean, I just don't like the decision making there by Dylan DeMello.
Well, to your point there, Dave, that last point you made, I mean, I thought that, look, there's a lot of blame that can go around on that goal. You mentioned DeMello. You talk about the forward not getting back in time. Logan Stanley, he played it like a guy who's not playing with a lot of confidence in his game. And I'm certain that Logan Stanley doesn't have a lot of confidence in his game. I think he was indecisive as soon as the puck sort of came back out of the Golden Knights offensive zone. If he's more decisive there, and maybe there's an opportunity for him to sort of break up the 3-on-1 before it begins. He's indecisive, and then the manner in which he tries to defend the play is just all sorts of ugly. And look, Logan Stanley is going through he's a lightning rod for criticism. He hasn't played well for much of the last year plus. So you can understand why he's indecisive and why he's hesitant. But, the Jets in that instance, obviously it cost them, or was part of the reason why it cost them a goal there.
We got Sebastian agreeing with Dave M here. So it looks like the Dave M has the masses on his side, but no, it absolutely wasn't a great decision by Dylan DeMello. I still think though that, there should have been a forward that, kind of had more of a awareness to, get back and play a little defense. But you're right, Dave M. I wonder if, you see guys like Pionk and Morrissey and Nate Schmidt trying to create a lot of offense. You wonder if a guy like Dylan DeMello wants to get in on it a little bit, when really guys, like, let's be honest here, especially when it's, Logan Stanley and Dylan DeMello on the third pair, you want those guys to take care of their own zone. You're not looking for a lot of offense. Yeah, if an opportunity is there, that was not the opportunity. And it just, I know we want to get to the second Golden Knights goal here, Drew. Logan Stanley, in his defense, that's a tough position to come in, right? Like a tough situation to come in. I'm talking about tonight's game, right? Because Samberg played last night. You're already struggling with confidence. You most likely wouldn't have been in the lineup unless, Samberg was dealing with an injury here. But I agree with you. Like that's what stands out to me. I think, Logan Stanley right now, is probably number 7 or number 8 on the Jets D chart. And, I just think if Samberg's healthy, he's got to be your third pairing defenseman. I think he can be an NHL defenseman. I just think right now, any Jets fan or any hockey observer who's watching can see that Stanley's struggling with his confidence.
I would agree wholeheartedly there. The Vegas Golden Knights made it 2-0 a little less than 2 minutes later, coming at the 6:11 mark of the first period. It's William Karlsson, his second of the season, assist to Michael Amadio and Jonathan Marchessault. And, just attention to detail by the Jets here is lacking. Too many guys deep, not enough guys covering, taking sticks away from a guy like William Karlsson, who knows how to put the puck in the net. And, just soft play in high danger zones is what I would describe as a lot of the problem on this one.
Well, I mean, I said to Ezzy, did not look a lot like the Tyler Seguin goal, in Dallas on Monday, where he was just left wide open by himself, and Scheifele and Appleton are all reaching for him, but they're not even close. So the point is that, you can't leave a guy who can score 40 goals that wide open, and expect him to not be dangerous. And, the Jets, I mean, how much time was there between goals? Was it a minute 40 between those two goals?
It was a minute 48 to be exact.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit more, but I mean, the reality is that it's just, you're a Jets team that you just defeated the Stanley Cup champions. You're feeling good about yourself. You're 1-on-1 on this road trip. You didn't have a great game in Dallas, but you're thinking to yourself, well, hey, we can come out, and you, like, as he said, you had a good start. You're down 1-0. It's not ideal, but it's something that you can't overcome. And yet now you do a classic Drewism. You don't have attention to detail, and it burns you. And, Vegas, look, guys, came into the game.
Just for the record, another classic Drewism is, can I get some extra chili on that?
Yes, that is true.
For those who are keeping track at home.
And gravy.
So, yes. So the point is, and biscuits. So the point is, though, that Vegas, you remember, is 3-1 prior to tonight's game. Could have been 4-0, right? They were up 2-0 on Calgary, ended up blowing that game. But the fact is that Vegas isn't exactly a bad team. Even if they have, relatively weak goaltending, they still got a pretty good team. And so if you're going to give these guys,
I don't think it's weak at all.
I'm just saying, like, relatively speaking, right? When they had Fleury, sure. When they had Leonard,
they don't have Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky for sure.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's probably going to be
Connor Hellebuck for that matter.
Yeah, I think it'll be consistent. And the reality is, if Vegas possesses the puck the way they do, they might not have to worry so much about the goaltending. But the truth is that when you're giving a team that has that kind of firepower, those kind of opportunities wide open in front of the net, I mean, what do you think is going to end up happening? It's not as if, and again, Rittich was fine, but what was it? Did he give up 4 goals in his first 12 shots? And I'm not going to blame the one we'll get into in the third goal against him, but I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know that goal. And again, like I said, that's just a breakdown from the forwards not being properly positioned and not paying attention to where they need to be. So instead, you have William Karlsson, 40 goal scorer, wide open in front of David Rittich, and now you're down 2-0.
And Michael Amadio, I seem to remember him scoring a couple goals against the Jets last year. I might be mistaken about that. Somebody can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, because he was on the Kings last year, right? Was he not?
That sounds right, Ezzy.
Amadio. So I think he scored a couple goals against the Jets last year. If my brain cell depleted memory serves me correctly. But also, Michael Amadio beats Nate Schmidt here, Dave. And again, I'm not, I love Schmitty. I mean, he was the star of the called out segment by Bar Down during the, I could forget if it was the first intermission or the second intermission. I think it was the second. But Michael Amadio just kind of beat Nate Schmidt, behind the net, goes to close him out, pin him against the boards. And Amadio just keeps going, takes the puck. And as you mentioned, nobody, Mark Scheifele was kind of trailing, along the goal line. He just wasn't in position there. And Mason Appleton, nobody picked up William Karlsson, as we've already documented. So there was just, to me, that was just a couple of battles were lost. And that was kind of the story of the majority of the first period. The Golden Knights were winning a lot of those cliche one-on-one battles.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and then they were getting good results off of them. We saw it with the third goal, which came at the 10:07 mark. This is when things are beginning to snowball. When this goal goes in, it's Chandler Stevenson, his first of the year, assist to Shea Theodore, and this is just it's a nothing play that ricochets
Nobody's
off
fault.
Dillon.
It's luck. It's luck. I'm sorry. Brendan Dillon is in front of the net, goes off his skate. What is David Rittich supposed to do? This is one of the goals you can't really analyze or break down. That's pure luck to me. The definition of pure luck.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a ton to break down there. Aside
good on Chandler Stevenson. Sorry, Drew. Good on Chandler Stevenson for putting the puck on net. And Chandler Stevenson's had his breakout year last year for Vegas. He's a good player. Smart players will do that, right? They'll put the puck on the net. But you can't really, say that there were a lot of things that went wrong here for the Jets. That was just a team down 2-0. And when a puck goes off the skate like this, when Brendan Dillon's in perfect position, he's in front of the net, right? He's making sure if anybody's coming to the net, he'll take care of them. But to me, you have to look at that one and kind of just shrug it off and say that was just fluke.
Yeah, it's definitely a fluke. It's definitely just, sort of things are spiraling out of control in this first period that's gone from bad to worse for the Winnipeg Jets. And then it goes really bad. The fourth goal at the 15-17 mark of the first period. Jack Eichel's second of the period, his third of the season, unassisted, comes 4-on-4.
Oh, it was assisted.
Fair enough. Unassisted by any Vegas Golden Knights. How about that, Dave? Pierre-Luc Dubois is in the box. Aiden Hill is in the box. Well, he's not, because obviously somebody's serving the penalty for him because he's the goaltender.
I think it was Keegan Colasar from Manitoba.
There you go. It's 4-on-4, and it's just a disaster of epic proportions. It's Neil Pionk playing the puck back to David Rittich like it's soccer style, feeding it back to the keeper. And then in this case, David Rittich tries to headman the puck or move the puck, and he moved it all right onto the stick of Jack Eichel. Dave, this was just a head-scratching, bewildering play in a lot of different ways.
Well, I think we learned that David Rittich is not a wizard with the puck. So maybe they want to reevaluate the thought process behind that play. But look, again, Rittich made a bad play, made a bad decision. Neil Pionk made a bad play and made a bad decision. So, there was a number of follies.
I don't know if it was though, Dave.
Clearly it was.
I saw some people on Twitter saying that, Pionk shouldn't have passed it, back. And you know who I'm going to bring up here? best
Marty
goalie of all
Brodeur.
time, Marty Brodeur. They used to do that with Marty Brodeur all the time. Like, I'm not saying David Riddick handles the puck like Brodeur, but he handles the puck pretty well, Dave.
When
To me, it's
you're in
not
casual conversation with Naomi, with your lovely wife, Ezzy, do you just bring up Marty Brodeur to her as well, or is it
Yes.
just something that is
Yes.
it's exclusively
especially
for us?
in intimate moments. I bring
In
him
intimate,
up.
okay, you start
Yeah.
you just
right,
Marty,
dude,
it gets
careful.
a little weird.
Career wins leader, 3 Stanley Cups. No, I look at that, and Riddick has his stick in position, right, Dave? Like, he's clearly ready to take Pionk's pass back.
Yeah.
To me, it was just way too casual. I think it was not Mason Appleton who was the forward he was trying to get it to. I have to go back and look, but I think it was Mason Appleton. I just thought he was too loose.
Yeah,
Like, in that situation, you can't flip a little pass like
right.
that. It was just a free pizza, as Claude Noel used to say.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not saying that it was a terrible decision by Neil Pionk. I just think, like, I don't know what David Riddich's expertise at handling the puck is like. We haven't really watched him, too much in practice to see what he is like when he handles the puck. So for me, if you know that he's good, if you know that he's like a Marty Turco, a Marty Brodeur, that sort of style guy who can handle the puck and is a wizard with it, well, that's one thing. But if you don't know that, or if you don't think he is, it's tough because there's pressure. And then again, you're right. Don't get me wrong. That's on Rittich. It's a terrible decision to try and go up the ice, the way he did. And
you put that puck in a safe area, Dave.
That's right.
Look, I think you could definitely make an argument that in that situation, down 2-0, a goaltender who hadn't played, that was just his first period of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're only 4 games in here. That was just ugly. Like, everything about that was ugly, but you're right. I mean, you think these guys have practiced this a little bit, and Pionk's obviously a smart player who's having a great season so far. But it kind of capped off just a horrendous first period, really.
It was a horrendous first period, and it ended 4-0 for the Golden Knights over the Jets. And, the Jets did try and push back, so they cut it to within 4-2 over the course of the next 40 minutes. But you never really felt, even after they got that second goal with about 13 minutes to go in the game, you never really felt like the Golden Knights were in 10 minutes to go in the game. We're in serious trouble here. The Golden Knights did a very good job just shutting things down. I mean, when you're up 4-0, it should be relatively easy to shut things down. They say that the worst lead in hockey, of course, is a 2-goal lead. They never say that the worst lead in hockey is a 4-goal lead. I see. Donnie boy, hang tight. We're going to get to the code in a couple minutes here. Everyone hang tight. The code for the illegal.
Donnie boy, we got to work in the morning, Drew.
I know.
Well, we're only half an hour in, boys.
We're not all independently wealthy like you are, Drew. Like, I got to wake up and go into the office and work.
You got to work in the salt mines, Ezzy. Pierre-Luc Dubois got the Jets on the scoreboard at the 7:23 mark of the second period. His first of the season, assist to Neil Pionk and Cole Perfetti. Pionk continues his offensive hot streak, which we saw when he got the Jets' second goal of the game. This was a solid shot, a big rebound. There were a lot of big rebounds coming off of Adin Hill tonight, and Pierre-Luc Dubois was able to deposit this one to at least get the Jets on the scoreboard, if not really, and briefly tighten the game on the scoreboard as well.
Does Neil Pionk get a point on every single Jets goal now?
That's how it's going to work. Yeah. He assists on every goal or gets every goal for the rest of the season.
He's going to end up with probably more points than McDavid, right? Like, I think that's realistic. But no, I mean, like, you're right. This is all just smart and great hand-to-eye coordination. We've seen this, over the few years that Pierre-Luc Dubois has been here, and obviously before that in Columbus. Like, the guy has great hands in front of the net, and that was just like Adin Hill had no chance on that. I forget who the defenseman was covering Pierre-Luc Dubois, but Dubois essentially, as he does a lot of the time, just outmuscles him, goes to the net, knocks the rebound in. So even though at that point you knew that the Jets had to put at least one more past Adin Hill, it got the ball rolling, so to speak. It was a nice goal from PLD.
Yeah, gets him off the schneid at the very least to start the year. He gets his first goal of the season, 4-1 after 40 minutes. Jets cut it to 4-2. Neil Pionk, as we mentioned, goal scorer extraordinaire. His third of the year coming at the 10:34 mark of the third period. Assist to Josh Morrissey and Adam Lowry. So again, offense from the back end. You do see it again for a second straight night. Unfortunately far too little, far too late for the Winnipeg Jets. Jonathan Marchessault wraps up the goal scoring on the evening. He gets it into an empty net, his 4th of the year. Assist to William Karlsson and Alex Pietrangelo, and it's a 5-2 final. The Golden Knights defeating the Winnipeg Jets tonight in Vegas. Not a great effort by the Jets, not a great performance by the Jets, but through 4 games, 2-2. So they are sort of, they're not bottoming out like the Vancouver Canucks or anything like that, a team in complete disarray. Well, I mean, but there was
lucky.
hope.
Dallas lost in overtime. Not that we're scoreboard watching 4 games in, and Nashville lost. And I think
Nashville's already played like 14 games.
Minnesota ended up beating Vancouver.
Minnesota beat Vancouver in overtime, I believe. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yes, we're far too soon to be scoreboard watching. But from the Jets' perspective, 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. Some good, some bad. It's sort of how you expected.
The record is exactly what it should be. It's been mixed results, right? Like it really has. Like each game has had mixed results, right? Like yeah, you like the third period, the Jets push, but like when you're down 4-1, it's kind of a little bit meaningless, right? And
it's a lot meaningless.
You liked a little bit of the Dallas game, and obviously you like a big chunk of the Colorado game, but you also didn't like the end of the second period or the third period. I did catch a little bit of the game. And some of the highlights are all the highlights. And then same thing goes for that Rangers game, right? Like the Rangers game, great start. The second period, Rangers badly outshot the Jets, but the third period was pretty good, right? So a 2-2 record kind of,
I was going to say the biggest win for the Jets was the fact that they actually figured out how to play a half decent second period. Of course, you could also say that at 4-0 Vegas was not exactly, still putting their foot on the gas. So I don't think we should hold off on giving people the secret word, though, Drew, any longer. Do you?
I do not. But before we show them the secret word, I do want to say that the Betway game recap has been brought to you by, naturally, Betway, official title sponsor of the Illegal Curve post-game show. It's simple, fun, and safe to bet with Betway. So head on over to Betway and bet your way. Must be 19 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. The secret code word for the Illegal Curve merchandise contest for tonight up there on the screen, all one word, all caps, Sin City.
Good movie
with
Mickey Rourke.
Good town.
For the Jets being in Vegas tonight, Sin City is the secret word, the secret code word for the Illegal Curve contest for tonight. So what you do with that code word?
Tell Comet, because Comet's not certain. Comet saying the real secret is where to put the secret word. So explain to people what they do, Drew.
So in the show description,
down below
the screen, you'll see the show description. It talks about, where you can follow Illegal Curve. It talks about where you can subscribe to the podcast. You'll see a link there. It clearly is. There's a link that says
Gleam. It says gleam.io.
That's where the website is. That is where you click that gleam.io link. It's going to give you a whole listing of ways to enter the Illegal Curve merchandise contest, the Illegal Curve giveaway contest. One of those ways is to enter the secret word, that being Sin City. So follow that link.
Is it really a secret word though?
Well, it's a secret word that you have to be watching us. You have to be watching us to get the secret word.
It's not a secret anymore.
Well, it's now just a word, I suppose. Before it was a secret. If for some reason you can't find that link, it's just at the bottom. You should be able to find it.
For the record, it's also on illegalcurve.com. I've got it in almost every day in the notes, in the pregame reports. So you go on illegalcurve.com, which you should be doing every single day. And for the record, you get entries by going on illegalcurve.com. So every day you go on Illegal Curve, just so you know, it's worth 1 point. Not that I set that up for any reason or anything, pat back. But the point is that you can get points for going Illegal Curve. And if you don't know where the entry link is, if you can't find it in our YouTube description, then it's in my notes, usually note 2, or at the end of the pregame reports, there's a thing that says, do you want to enter the contest? Enter here. You click on the Here button. Then you're just going to see, and it's really not complicated, guys. You give your name, you give your email address, you can include your social media, and then literally I think
and
Rob
you have to supply a scanned copy of your birth certificate.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I need to see your will. I need to see a variety of things. But the point is, Rob was asking the question, and just so you know, Rob, you can retweet an Illegal Curve tweet. There's one specific one that's set up that gives you points. You can follow us on Instagram. You can do a variety of different things. There's 14 things you can do to gain points, and once you do all of them, you gain points. Now, the one key I want to make very clear, because I haven't done that for the first 3 of these, and I want to make this clear, what you shouldn't do is follow us and then unfollow us, because the software actually picks up on that kind of stuff and it renders it ineligible. So just so you know, there's no advantage to following and unfollowing. And the truth is that the number 1 points that you can get is by following us in the post-game show and the secret word. That gives you 10 entries. So even if you've done a lot of the other things, this is always going to be the maximum because most of those are only worth 1. This one's always going to be worth 10. So that's why this is that's why you want to be here with Ezzy, Drew, and I after every game and listening for that secret word or watching for that secret word, because that's how you're going to get the most number of entries to win. And can I make the announcement as to who the winner is?
Far be it from me to step on your toes when you're flowing like this, my good friend.
All right, I appreciate that. So remember, Sin City is the word. And if you have questions, guys, just remember this, and girls, if you have questions and you're not certain how to do something, email or DM any of the 3 of us, and we'll be happy to answer. Or you can leave a question. I can try and respond in some form, but that way we can always give you some sort of explanation. So if you get frustrated with the process, don't, because we can try and explain it and get it to work so you can participate. And then once you've got it rolling, it shouldn't be a problem. The winner, we're going out to Morden, Manitoba. Going to Morden, our good friend Darren Bucksack. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I don't know, Darren. I'm joking, but everybody who's a winner is a good friend of Illegal Curve. So congratulations to
I've
Darren.
Never met a Darren that I didn't like.
There you go. And so Darren is the 3rd winner, I believe, of the Illegal Curve contest. And Darren, I'm going to send you an email, and you're going to provide me with your mailing address, and I will get you some authentic
good
Winnipeg Jets swag. That's true. So
it's a great town.
We've got a hat, a jersey, T-shirts. We've got lots of stuff to give away. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, those of you who are with us right now, enter Sin City, and you can be like Darren. And maybe I'll be announcing your name on Saturday night.
Shout out to Bella's Castle, by the way. That's where we went after our wedding. Beautiful little spot, little romantic spot. Look it up, Bella's Castle in Morden. People, chat, help me out here. People know what I'm talking about.
It's like the time I was driving through Miami. The time I was driving through Miami, Manitoba, and I stopped and I tweeted about the great prank that which radio station was it? Was it Power 97?
Well, it was either City FM or Power 9.
Yeah,
where they told Power 97. Yeah, where
they
told people they want a Super Bowl in Miami.
They said you're going to the Super Bowl in Miami, and all these people drove out to the airport, and then they bussed them to Miami, Manitoba, which is like the smallest little town, and they all sat.
It's like Dave. It's like the Winnipeg of Pembina Valley.
And like they had to, and the greatest part about actually doing that tweet, which just goes to show you what the positive that the internet can bring, was the son of the disc jockey who created that thing reached out to me, and it really spurred a lot of conversation. It was a lot of fun. So along my travels, my little Manitoba travels, I do enjoy a stop in Miami, Manitoba.
There you go. Congratulations to Darren. He was the winner of the contest. The rest of you can keep
Corn and Apple Festival in Morden.
Great golf course too, Minnewasta.
There you guys go. You guys are just rattling off the
Phyllis lives in Morden. She's saying Bella's is 10 blocks from her house. There we go.
There you go. Let's head to break. When we come back, more on tonight's Jets and Golden Knights game. Maybe we'll even do a tutorial on how to enter this contest. We can do it with the split screens and everything else, and show people where to click and everything else. We'll see. Much more to come. Don't go anywhere.
Sorry, Drew. Just to be clear, because I want to make Darwin's saying he doesn't see it. Remember, guys, it's not in what you're seeing with us right now. In the description below us on YouTube, there's a whole description, right? Like I'm actually got a split screen, so I'm looking at it. It says Illegal Curve Hockey post-game show, Jets at Golden Knights. Then there's that Illegal Curve Hockey, tells you how many subscribers, and it says when the final buzzer sounds, the analysis begins. Now there's a little blurb there. If you click on the Show More button, this is maybe the critical piece that people are missing, and it's the reason why people aren't getting it. If you hit the Show More button, it opens up a bunch of more text. And then the first one that you'll see, Illegal Curve Hockey giveaway contest, jersey, hats, and shirts. And then there's a link to our Gleam tab. And as soon as you hit that, you can enter the contest. So that's what you guys need to do. Hit the Show More button. As soon as it opens up, click the link, enter, and win.
There you go. Dave M is going to teach classes in this very soon. We'll be back after this for more of the Illegal Curve postgame show.
Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Dennis Miller, Brad Garrett, the biggest acts and all the up-and-comers. They've all made their mark at Rumors Comedy Club, North America's longest-running independent comedy club. Rumors has kept Winnipeg laughing for over 25 years. When was the last time you laughed out loud? Make it a great night out with friends or book your office or birthday party, even a fundraising event at Rumors. Get all the details and dates on upcoming shows at rumorscomedyclub.com.
He winds up. Oh, looks like Ezzy took that one right in the choppers.
A blistering fast puck hurts like HE double hockey sticks. That's why I let the pros at Linden Market Dental Center turn my yow into
wow.
Get your brilliant smile back with state-of-the-art restorative and cosmetic dentistry from real pros.
And remember, always wear a mouth guard.
Now that's solid on ice advice. Learn more at lindenmarketdentalcenter.com. Creating smiles for life.
Whoa, Ezzy, everything okay? You look stressed.
Of course I'm stressed. We're moving, the house is upside down, the kids failed miserably at packing the fine china, and my life is in chaos. Chaos!
Yes, that does sound like a problem.
What am I going to do?
Ezzy, relax. Rolly's Transfer Moving and Storage is the answer. With 60 years of experience in moving Manitobans and a track record of exemplary customer service, one call to Rolly's and your stress is gone. No job is too big or too small. Just visit Rollies.com and they will take it from there.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, Rolly's Transfer Moving and Storage, online at Rollies.com.
Dave, my man, why are you in the car already? It's hours until game time.
Drew, it's because I'm stressed out right now, driving around downtown Winnipeg, looking for a parking spot, and I'm not finding one. I've lost Ginsburg. I don't even know where that guy is right now.
Dave, haven't I taught you anything? Do what I do. Pre-book your entire month's worth of game day parking with the Grid Park app. It's super easy to use and saves me both time and stress.
Well, Drew, I'm not independently wealthy like you are. So I'm sorry that I don't have millions of dollars to pre-book my parking month in advance. What's that going to cost you? $25?
How about $5?
Come on, $5? No way.
$5. I'm not telling you a lie. And our listeners can get a free park with the new special promo code Illegal Curve. Guess what? There's more.
Come on, there's more, Drew. You're lying to me. What more could there be?
Grid Park now has underground parking, so my car can stay warm during the game.
So wait a second. All the driving around I do, looking for parking, minus 40. You're telling me I could be toasty warm in a car after the hockey game?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Underground parking. Just download the Grid Park app. That's GRYD Park and use the code Illegal Curve. All one word. You'll park for free your first time.
Hi, it's Drew from Illegal Curve here. Selling your home can be stressful, but it wasn't for me. Thanks to my friends at Zappia Group Realty, they made the process so easy. My home sold within 48 hours and with multiple offers. Zappia Group Realty took care of everything with their exquisite customer service and attention to detail. If you want to sell your home for more in less time, get started by talking to Frank and Mauro Zappia of Zappia Group Realty. Online at zappiagroup.com.
For 3 generations and over 80 years, Tough Duck has been making apparel that works and plays as hard as the people who wear it. From jackets to work boots and everything in between, Tough Duck's clothing can handle the harshest environments, even the Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Work to live, live to play. Visit toughduck.com. Friday morning, welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg with you, talking about the Jets and the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights 5-2 victors over the Winnipeg Jets tonight. The Jets heading back to Winnipeg next in action Saturday night. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be in town, which will undoubtedly be a spirited contest. Here's a couple of injury updates. This one courtesy Scott Billick, who's obviously on site in Vegas. Dylan Sandberg has a lower body injury. Jets hopeful he can play Saturday, but they're not certain yet. This one about Nikolai Ehlers. A Nikolai Ehlers update is expected Saturday. This is Scott. This is from Scott again. Didn't come across as good as a good news situation from Jets' current head coach Scott Arniel, of course, him taking over for Rick Bowness while Bowness is dealing with COVID. Here's Arniel's quote on Ehlers, who was not an option for the Jets tonight. Quote, "We'll talk a little bit more about that maybe on Saturday." Doesn't sound great. I don't know. It sounds a little bit more ominous than necessarily a day-to-day sort of situation. We will be on site for Saturday's Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Reminder, 9 a.m. on Saturday. We will be on site at Canada Life Center when the morning skates are happening for both the Winnipeg Jets and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Will be broadcasting live from the arena, so you can tune in Saturday 9 a.m. and we'll give you the latest news regarding the Winnipeg Jets, the injury situation, their opponents, everything live back here on our YouTube channel. So be sure to join us Saturday morning. We're live on location at Canada Life Center. Dave M., where else are we going to be live on location?
Well, November 5th and 6th, you, Ezzy, and I, well, maybe for November 5th, I don't know about November 6th, but we're going to be gearing up for hard water season at the Winnipeg Ice Fishing Show. That's at Red River X Place. There'll be dozens of retailers on site with all the favorite lures, electronics, ice shelters, augers, winter apparel, and more. There's going to be some expert speakers, not us, of course, kids scavenger hunt, and prize draws. $10 admissions at the door. Kids 12 and under are free. That's the Red River X Place for the Winnipeg Ice Fishing Show, November 5th and 6th. I'm looking forward to that. We'll get a chance to meet with people. Obviously, we won't be able to meet people next Saturday at the arena, but the following Saturday, we'll have a good time interacting, giving away some Seagram swag and all sorts of things. So looking forward to that already.
I'm really looking forward to putting Drew through a hole in artificial ice. That's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be fun for me too. I can't see any downside to that sort of activity, but we'll be thrilled to be down there at Red River X Place. So you can, if you happen to be interested in ice fishing, if that happens to be, or fishing in general, I'm sure, or just looking for a great day to maybe bring the family and check out some cool things, you can come check us out as well. We'll be broadcasting the Illegal Curve Hockey Show from that fine location on Saturday, the 5th of November. Ezzy, Tough Duck, hardest hitting comment. Who do you have for tonight's winner?
Yeah, I've got the Tough Duck hardest hitting comment queued up there, Drew, in the private chat. You've got it there. I just wanted to say one thing quickly. Dave mentioned this on Twitter, and I believe in the morning papers. Nick Ehlers' injury apparently isn't to do with blocking the shot with his arm or hand. Scott Arniel, I believe, addressed that. I believe it was Arniel, maybe Brad Lauer. I'm not sure which one of the coaches addressed that, but it has nothing to do with that. Apparently, it was a nagging injury. So, I mean, you can pretend to be a doctor and try to figure that out. Like, I saw some people, speculating that it was a groin or something like that. Like, we really have no idea, but just wanted to get that in there, that apparently it's not anything to do with blocking that shot, right, Dave? Because that was what you were speculating before the game yesterday against the Avalanche. But let's get into the Tough Duck hardest hitting comment. You've got it up there. 999 Fries, great name. Love the number 9. Number 9, the Beatles. Jets definitely looked a decent team. Looked like a decent team. Too. Absolutely. Looked like a decent time in the last two periods, just the first that cost them. I still have high hopes for this team. Another thing to remember is that they are missing a top 6 winger. Absolutely. And especially against a team like Vegas who's got speed. I mean, Colorado obviously has a ton of speed too. So they missed Ehlers yesterday, but they obviously persevered and won. But it's a good point, by 999 Fries here. I did like parts of that game. And, if Ehlers is out long-term, or even short term, I mean, that's going to be unfortunate because you've got, some tough games coming up against Toronto, St. Louis, LA. So 999 Fries, hopefully you're still watching here. Send me an email, Ezra@illegalcurve.com, or you can slide into my DMs on Twitter at ICSEG, or EZZYG. And just send me your mailing address and Tough Duck will ship out a toque to you. And Rob Mahoney, if you're there, I think Dave might have told Rob earlier.
I did. I told him in the chat.
The Jets Stars game, Rob won, and he hasn't contacted me yet. So send me an email, Ezra@illegalcurve.com. You got a toque, man. You got a toque from Tough Duck waiting for you. They're going to ship it out to you. You don't have to do anything aside from sending me your mailing address, your social insurance number, and $100. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, just send me your mailing address, and Tough Duck will ship out a toque to you, Rob. I know Rob's a loyal IC viewer and listener. He's a good guy. So just make sure you
Rob's in the chat. I just saw Rob making comments. So
we want to give Rob that too. It's getting colder out. So Rob, congratulations. Send me an email. And 999 Fries, I saw that he's still in the chat. So right on.
There you go. Congratulations to all the winners of tonight's contest. And of course, we'll do it all again Saturday. 2 shows on Saturday. The Illegal Curve Hockey Show, 9 a.m. back here on our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. And then again, post-game Saturday after the Jets and the Leafs back here on our YouTube channel. So a very busy Saturday as we're in a busy stretch here for post-game shows and, of course, for the regular Saturday Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Want to say a big thank you to all the sponsors of Illegal Curve who make the post-game show, the Saturday show, the website a possibility, our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Linden Market Dental Center, Zappia Group Realty, Betway, Tough Duck, Boston Pizza, Seagram's, Rolly's Transfer, Grid Park, and The Keg. Support the... Pardon me.
Whoa, Drew. A frog in your throat there.
I got a frog in my throat.
Holy.
Support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. You guys talk for a second.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, I don't think as
Did Drew just turn into Marge Simpson?
I don't know what just happened, but I think the truth is I'm not going to do a
I hope
Manuk
Drew's
Moose minute.
okay.
I'm not going to do a Manuk Moose minute, folks, because
That's
we're already
good.
at the end of the show and it's
Saturday
already 12.
you'll do
It's
one.
almost 12:30. But I will say the Moose have
Also,
3
Drew
games.
might need new vocal cords.
The Moose are playing 3 games this week, starting with Chicago Wolves tomorrow night. They've got 3 and 3 coming up. So if the Jets are going to need a player, we'll find out maybe tomorrow night if they're going to make a recall. If one of those guys who we've seen isn't playing, stay tuned for that.
There you go. Thank you, Dave.
Jansen Harkins, Dave?
I would think that Jansen Harkins.
I'd put my money on Jansen Harkins.
Yeah, I could see Harkins for sure being the guy who gets called up.
This seems like a pretty decent conversation for Saturday morning's Illegal Curve Hockey Show. Back here, 9 a.m.
Well, Jets are off tomorrow. Just so people know, the Jets are off. They're traveling tomorrow. They're staying in Vegas tonight. They're traveling tomorrow, so they won't. And by the way, one thing we didn't even talk about, but that's okay because I want you to go on our Instagram and leave your comments. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the reverse retro jersey, which was released today. I know you guys are desperate to talk about it, but we've got it posted on the website. So if you want, go on the website, check it out. If you didn't get a chance to see it yet, a lot of people, the one kind of overarching thing I'm picking up is a lot of people wanted red. I didn't want to have the heart to say, well, the Canada Life patch is there, although it kind of ruins it. But anyways, the point is that if you want to make a comment, go on our Instagram. We're going to have a lot more reaction to the release today on tomorrow on the website.
It's got the early 90s logo. I mean, what else do you want?
No, it's all good. As he made a very good point about
it's a jersey. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's not take it too seriously. I love the Fisherman's Friend jersey.
No, the Kings one kills. The Kings one is the best one.
Yeah, the Kings one. And also I love the Paddington Bear Bruins jersey. I know not everybody loves that jersey. I love it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Talk about it on our Instagram. That's a great conversation happening there. You should check that out as well. For Dave Manuk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Thanks to everyone for joining us on tonight's Illegal Curve post-game show. We'll see you Saturday at 9 a.m. Until then, we wish you good night and good luck. And thanks for watching the Illegal Curve post-game show.